Hey everyone, this is Russell. I want to welcome you to our Funnel Hacks training, and I'm shocked how many people are on this line right now. This is exciting. I love when the live trainings got as many people as like the other ones, so it's kind of cool. All right, so I want to make sure that you guys can all hear me first. If you guys can hear me, say hello over in the question box. All right, cool, loud and clear. Awesome. Okay. So a couple quick questions. I saw someone ask if they missed one of the webinars, is there a recording? Yeah, we have recordings of all of them. So I'm going to jump right in, you guys. We promise you guys a 6-week training course. My guess is we'll do more than that. That's usually what happens. Like as I get feedback from you guys from the question box, kind of what we're feeling, what we're seeing, I'm going to modify some things and kind of go on. So as you guys know, on Monday we did our very first training, which was on opt-in funnels. And from that, we got a lot of questions. I realized I needed to step back and do some more foundational stuff. And so that's what this training, I'm going to, instead of moving forward and doing sales funnels like we were planning on doing, I'm going to step back and do some more foundational stuff today. And that way, I think it'll help a lot more and give you guys faster success as well. So that's kind of the game plan. And it should be fun. So for some of you guys, I know you just got started, so I want to kind of go through really quick everything about Funnel Hacks. Right now, I'm logged into the Funnel Hacks members area. I think you guys can see my screen, hopefully. Cool. All right. So this is what it looks like. This is kind of the home screen side members area. And so if you don't have access to Funnel Hacks for whatever reason, let us know. Contact our support at clickfunnels.com. Email them and they can get you access. But you should have access to this right now. So this is the members area right here. When you scroll down on this homepage, this is the first thing I want you guys to do if you haven't done this yet. This is about a 3.5 hour long training. So it's kind of long. But it's very important, I think, and so I recommend you guys watch that before this weekend or whatever. Spend some time and go through this training because it's going to really go deep into the psychology. I know that right now a lot of it's not everything's going to make sense, but it's important for you to get a good grasp of this whole thing we're talking about. Because if you understand the overall concept, even if you don't understand everything perfectly, but if you have a good grasp of the overall concept. That's really the key. And so that's why I gave you guys this training here because it does a really good job of explaining everything. And it's intense, it's deep, it's everything we've been doing for the last 10 years. So like I said, don't be concerned or frustrated if you go through it and like not everything makes sense. Or you might get a little overwhelmed, but that's okay. Again, my goal with that video is if any of you guys have worked with Tony Robbins at all, he talks a lot about immersion and I'm a big believer in that. And so, like for example, when I was in college, I wasn't a big fan of college, but I would take like 18 credit hours, right, over a semester. And so what would happen is every day I'd go to like 5 or 6 classes, and then the next day I'd go to 5 or 6 other classes, right? And every day was rotating through, and I was getting little pieces of all these things. I'm trying to remember everything. I'm learning math and science and all these things. And over an entire semester, you're supposed to remember all these things. And then at the end of it, they test you on each individual one. And I don't know about you guys, but it was really hard for me to do it that way. And so when I started working with Tony and kind of learning what he was doing and teaching, one of the big things he talked about was immersion. He said, when I learn something, I immerse myself in it. So he talked about when he wanted to learn horseback riding, he went and spent a week with the best in the world and just immersed himself and became the best at that. And I've really taken that to heart in my life and in my business. And when I want to learn something, I don't try to like dabble in it. I want to immerse myself in it, because when you immerse yourself in something, your brain starts making connections that it normally wouldn't when you're just dabbling or doing a little bit here, a little bit there. You know what I mean? And so, like for example, this is about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I wanted to learn about NLP. I thought it was really cool. And so I literally went and bought like 20 NLP books and courses and CDs. And for an entire week, that's all I did. I read every book and I listened to them in the car, and I went home, I'd watch movies, and I just tried to like immerse myself. And when you do that, you start making all these cool connections that you wouldn't normally. And so this training is like an immersion training. It's a lot. And my goal is not for you guys to understand it all perfectly, but it's going to give you like the 100-foot view of like, wow, this is what's possible. This is where I want to go with my business. There's going to be multiple funnels. We talk about in this training about the different types of funnels. We have front-end funnels. We have middle of the value ladder funnels. We have back-end funnels, and there's all sorts of things. And I don't want you to overwhelm, because your goal is not to do all of those, but your goal is to understand all of them. So okay, well, in my business right now, what do I need? Okay, I want to do a webinar funnel. So that's my first one. Or maybe you've already got a front-end funnel and you want a back-end funnel, or whatever it is. And so that's why this training is core. And again, it's a lot, it's deep, but it's going to give you that immersion where I think you'll start making some connections that you wouldn't normally do. Cool? So that is there. So make sure this weekend you guys watch it and and it should be awesome. Cool. As we were saying, that video was awesome. Cool. So I'm glad you guys watched. I've had multiple people say that training right there is worth more than any $2,000 product they've ever bought in the past. And so that makes me feel good. And I also have the handouts here. A lot of you guys are asking for the handouts. So we added that in there. Next thing I want to show you over here. So you come down here. If you don't have your ClickFunnels account yet, just click right here. And you should, most of you guys signed up through ClickFunnels, so it came in there. If you signed up at a live event or something, that may not be in here. So if that's the case, you can come in here and you can set up your ClickFunnels account. But again, for most of you guys, you already have one. Next here is ClickFunnels t-shirt. If you haven't got your t-shirt yet, just request it right here and we'll ship you out the t-shirt. And then right here is the training schedule. So you'll see right here, this is kind of the training schedule. And notice right here, I said date subject to change. The reason why is because we're changing stuff all the time, right? Like right now, this one said sales funnels, but we're not. We're doing sales funnels probably this day. So don't be so stuck on like these exact dates and times. Like this is going to be a fluid thing that I go through with you guys because I take a lot of I listen to your guys' feedback. I look at the questions you guys ask, and I try to tweak things to make sure that as a group we're getting everything in that we need. Okay, so but that's the training schedule here, and then right here I made a tag where I made some videos showing kind of behind the scenes of some of our funnels. So here's our supplement funnel, here's our info product funnel, our coaching funnel, our webinar funnel. So that's just some things you guys can look at as you're getting ideas of what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I'll probably keep adding more in here because it's kind of fun showing off behind the scenes. So, but there's a bunch you can look at just to get kind of an idea as you're building your info product funnel. Like, what did Russell do here? What are you doing in his coaching funnel? How's his webinar funnel? Okay, so there's those right there for you. And then down here, we're putting in the live training. So opt-in funnels, this is last week's training. So up here at top is the actual video. And this, I think the training was about 2 hours long. And we went to a whole bunch of opt-in funnel stuff. And the next day I came in because I wanted to make it, when you go through a 2-hour training, a lot of times there's so much stuff. You're like, wow, this is heavy, right? What are my actual action items? So then I went down and I broke down to your actual action items. So step 1, step 2, and I made little 2 to 3 minute videos kind of walking through each of the pieces. So that way you can watch the initial training. So watch initial training to understand the concept. So this is how the whole thing works. Cool, it makes me excited. But then you're going to dig deeper in each of these as you go through. Like, okay, now how did I do that again? How do I find my funnel? Boom, I'm going to do it for you. How do I find the hook? Here's how I do it. And I kind of go through the process. So hopefully that'll help the education become more clear to you guys. And I'm going to try to do that in every single one of these. So that way you get the overall concepts and then we get broken down so you can actually see me implement each step. And then you can look at that and just model it when you're doing it as well. Cool. And also down here are all your bonuses. You got Inception secrets down here. And I notice I have a create account link, but I also need like a login link. So I apologize. That was my mistake. So I'll go back through and add some of those links in here. But those are all in here as well. We're probably going to start the instant traffic hacks training, the newer version here soon as well. So you'll get access. I mean, you have all the current version, but we have a bunch of new stuff we're putting in there too. So anyway, I just want to kind of give you guys a run through the members area because a lot of people have been asking questions about it. And every training will be archived in here. Opt-in funnels was live the day after we did it. So usually it's about 24 hours or so we get it back up there. As today is a Friday, it might be Monday before I get this one in here, but that's kind of the game plan. So if you miss them or whatever reason, they're all going to be in here archived. And yeah, so if you have any questions right now about that specifically, let me know, but I just kind of wanted to walk through all those. Someone said, can I share the slides in the member area? Most of these trainings aren't slide based. So they're me logging in and actually doing stuff. So it's more working. So if that helps. Someone said, can you show us how to do a live funnel for webinars? Yeah, so we will do that on the webinar funnel stuff. Cool. All right, so that's the game plan, guys. So let me come back. So what I'm going to do right now then, so my goal for today's training is 3 parts. First off, I want you guys to kind of understand the overall strategy. And so I'm going to walk through that first. Second off, I want you guys to understand how to use ClickFunnels. And so I'm going to go through that a little bit. I had some friends who tried to use it and they got confused, and I walked them through this little process and they're like, oh, okay, I get it. And they were able to do it. So I want to walk you guys through that. So you got a really good foundation on how to use ClickFunnels. And then number 3, we're going to talk, for those of you, a lot of you guys have been asking about, like, I don't have a product yet. What do I do? How do I do it? And so I'm going to walk through some of that stuff as well. So that's the game plan. Okay, so for overall strategy, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up Paint because this is my whiteboard. You guys know that. You've been on my trainings now a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of sketch this out as if you guys were here in my office with the whiteboard. And as you know, inside ClickFunnels, there's different types of funnels, right? And there's a bunch of them. But when you go through the training, the 3.5 hour long training, you'll see that there's different funnels for different reasons, right? And we use different, people are always like, what funnel should I use? And it always comes back to like, well, what's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? There's different things out there, right? And so the core funnels that are inside of ClickFunnels, the first one is like an opt-in funnel, right? And this is the primary goal of an opt-in funnel is to build a list. And so usually it's 2 pages. There's your squeeze page, your opt-in page, where somebody's giving you their email address right here. They click submit, and the next page is usually like a thank you page that says, thank you so much for joining my list, right? And that's like the most simple funnel in the world. And people always ask me, well, Russell, can I make money with ClickFunnels without having my own product? And the answer is yeah. Like you make money online by having a list. Like that's kind of, hopefully at this point you guys kind of know that. If not, that's the big secret. That's how I've made millions and millions of dollars, is because I have a big email list and I focus on building it. And the way I build it is I have a squeeze page, I drive traffic through there, and then I have a thank you page. Okay. And that's kind of the process. And so that was what we covered week number 1 in detail, was really this how to do an opt-in page. Now, one thing that I kind of talked about in the training, and I don't know if I preface this enough, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit here, is that the one problem with this little process where they join my list and I thank them for joining my list is I'm not making any money here right out of the gate, right? I'm driving traffic in here, I'm building a list, and I have to sell them stuff through email to be able to break even. And a lot of times when you're building a list, you're spending money to drive traffic in, right? And so what I talked about was after somebody comes through this funnel, is what I do is this thank you page is I transition it from just a typical thank you page. It's like, hey, thanks for ordering, and I change it to what I call a bridge page. I kind of talk about that a little bit on the 3-hour training, but I call it a bridge page, where I tell them thank you first off, but then second, I bridge them over to something else, somewhere else where they can go buy something. Because I want to make money, right? If I spend $1 on ads, I want to make at least $1 back out so I can break even, and hopefully more. And so what I do typically here's my opt-in funnel. A lot of times I'll add a third step in here, which is I'm taking them now to somewhere where they can buy something. Okay. And so for a lot of you guys, this might be your own product. Some of you guys don't have a product yet, so it might be an affiliate product. It just kind of depends. So whatever makes sense for your business. So week number 1, that's what we talked about. If you were on that webinar, you know that we went on there, and what I did is first step was we found a product like this. We figured out the hook, and then from there we built out a squeeze page and thank you page, and that was kind of the process for week number 1, right? So that's kind of what, if that's your focus, that's kind of where to kind of go. Now, the next training we do, week number 2, we're gonna be focusing on a sales funnel. And so a sales funnel typically will kind of be similar sometimes. A lot of times we'll still lead with a squeeze page, okay, where they would get their name and their email address. Then from there, I take them over to a page where I'm going to sell them something. And a lot of times we'll do like a video sales page, right? But you can do whatever. So there's a page here where now we're going to sell them something. And then from there, a lot of times we're going to have upsells or downsells or whatever else you want, right? So say upsells. And then from there, you might have a thank you page where you give them what they just bought, right? So there's your sales funnel. So I'll write over here, opt-in. This is sales funnel. Okay. Now again, inside ClickFunnels, we give you guys kind of this basic framework. But as you'll see, and I'll kind of show you can really easily add more pages, take away pages. You can do a lot of things. Anything you kind of make up and dream up, you can kind of create inside of here. But so first is opt-in funnels. Second are our sales funnels. Actually, let me open up ClickFunnels so I can see exactly. The next one is, so we got opt-in, and again, inside ClickFunnels, that's how it works. So opt-in funnels, sales funnels. And the cool thing is I made these little videos. I don't think anyone ever watches them, but if you want to see like, what's an opt-in page, you click on this, and there's a video of me really quickly kind of explaining it, right? Same thing with sales funnels, and we go on through there. All right. Trying to find my paintbrush program. There we go. Okay. So next one are webinar funnels. So the webinar funnels, the way that a webinar funnel works is you got to find a third-party webinar service, right? So we use GoToWebinar. Some people use Webinar Jams. A lot of them out there. But basically, a webinar funnel it's a webinar registration page, because most of the pages that GoToWebinar and other systems give you are really ugly. So we give you guys awesome pages, and then someone registers here, and then it sends off to GoToWebinar or whatever, and it subscribes them to the webinar, and then it pushes them back over to your own thank you page right here. Thank you page. So webinar funnel is pretty simple. It's just kind of, it's a front page and a back page to get somebody into your webinar. So that's one kind of funnel. The next funnel is auto webinars. And automated webinars are basically, you do your webinar once and you record it. And then what we do is we put it into an automated webinar funnel where now we can automate this whole process. So usually there's a registration page, then there's a registration page here, there's a thank you page here, and then there are, based on what they do, there's different things. Then you have like the actual webinar goes live. So there's your live webinar, and then there's like a replay webinar, and anyway, it's just another type of funnel, right? So automated webinar funnels. And then obviously we've got membership sites, product launch funnels, custom funnels. And so there's just different types of, there's different things, right? But these are kind of the core funnels that we use. Obviously, then there's a product launch funnel for number 5. And product launch funnel is, if you guys have studied Jeff Walker, any of the big product launch guys, the concept is usually you're trying to give people really good content before you launch a product. And so the way we've always done ours is there'll be like 3 or 4 videos. And so basically a product launch funnel is you've got 4 pages, and on page 1, you reveal video number 1, right? And usually there's like little previews of other videos up here. Then you do video number 2, and then there's video number 3, and then video number 4, you give them with like an add to cart button where they can now buy. And that's like what a product launch funnel kind of looks like. And then number 6 are membership sites. So membership site's not really a funnel. So a membership site, you can go and come back here on your thank you page, make your thank you page a membership site, or somebody purchases your product, you can tag a membership site on the back of anything if you want. And then custom funnels is basically you can make up anything you can kind of dream of. Okay. So again, there's different funnels for different purposes. And so for your business, you got to think like, what am I looking for? Am I selling a product that's basically anywhere from, a couple of dollars up to maybe $100? If so, then probably the sales funnel is going to be the one for you. If you're selling something that's more expensive, like $1,000 or more, usually like a webinar funnel is going to be better. Now, do you want to do your webinars live? If so, then a live webinar funnel is best. Do you want to do them automated? If so, an automated webinar funnel is best. So that's kind of the concept behind that, you guys, and how the different funnels inside ClickFunnels work. All right. And so that's why I said each week we're going to go through one funnel into a lot of depth and detail, so you can see how we set it up. And I'm going to show you the psychology and what I do and what other people are doing, so you just get a really good idea. And then after you got the framework, you understand that, then you can go into ClickFunnels and actually start building things out. Okay. Now the other one thing I wanted to mention, just so that conceptually you guys understand this, is in our business, and every business is different, and this may not be really 100% to you, but typically for most businesses, right, you go out there and you got to spend money to get customers, right? You're going to Facebook or whatever, and you're spending money to drive traffic. So we spend some money, we drive traffic, and we're driving now through some kind of funnel, right? And this funnel could look like anything. So I'm just going to write funnel. It could be a sales funnel, it could be a webinar funnel, it could be whatever it is in your business. But usually there's this first funnel and that we're trying to get somebody through, right? And so my goal with this always is I want to be able to put $1 into ads, and on the back end I want to be able to get at least $2, or at least, well, let me say $1 is good, but at least $1 back out. My goal is to try to break even, right? If I put $1 into ads, I want to get at least $1 back out. So I broke even. A lot of people say, well, Russell, if you break even, you don't make any money, right? And that's kind of how beginners look at a business. I remember when I first got in this business, I had a mentor, and I heard him speak on stage. His name was Mike Littman, and I remember he was talking. He said he was talking about his business, how it ran, and he showed this DVD. He said, this is a DVD that I sell on my website. And he says, right now I spend $30 to give away this DVD for free. I remember thinking, I'm like, that guy's dumb. What's he thinking? He's spending $30 to give away a DVD. Like, how's it, like, the more DVDs you give away, the less money you're making, right? It's like this whole, and I remember like kind of I was confused. I'm like, why would he do that? And he came back and he said, you have to understand this concept. He said, amateurs focus on the front end. Amateurs focus on the front end. He said, just so you guys know, I pay someone $30 to give away a free CD, but then I call a person on the phone and I sell them a $25,000 package. And so for every free CD I give away, it costs me $30, but I average $600 for each one I give away. He said, so I'm not losing money. I'm putting $30 in and getting $600 back out. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And so for you guys with funnels, I think it's important to start thinking about it that way. Okay, because that's why ClickFunnels is powerful. You're gonna be able to create lots of different types of funnels. And so for me, my whole goal is like, my first funnel I have is just to break even. If I can break even, then what's happening? I'm building a list, I'm getting customers, all this really cool stuff's happening. Now, when I have these people, right? So let's just say here's my first funnel, and I'm driving people up here. Let me turn this red. I drive people up here, and I've got these people, right? So you got this person buys my product, and this person buys, and all these people are buying or they're subscribing, but they're being added to my list, right? The cool thing is that after this is happening, and I talked on the first training about like the value of a list and how we're averaging over $1 per month per name. So our goal is to build this whole thing up, right? And I'm trying to do it at break even at least. And then after it breaks even, now I've got this whole list of people. So now I create my second funnel. Okay, so here's my second funnel. And all these people that have joined my list, I just send them to this funnel. And the coolest thing about this is because they're on my list, I don't have to put any money back in. And the only thing that happens is money pops back out the other side. And this, you guys, is where we win in business. This is how we start making money. Okay. So if you look at my business, my goal is to drive traffic to an initial funnel to try to break even so I can build a list. And then that list, I sell them the next thing, and everything I make, I keep 100% of it. Is that making sense? So that's why I have multiple funnels in my business. That's why I think everybody should have multiple funnels. When you watch the 3-hour training, one thing I talk about is a concept I call the value ladder. Okay, the value ladder looks kind of like this. Okay, where I'm trying to take somebody and I try to send them up the value ladder, right? So on the front end, I might have, whatever, a free book, let's say. So there's my free book, and they pay shipping and handling, they get the book. And then from there, I upgrade them to the next thing, which maybe is like a home study course. And then from there, I upgrade them to like, whatever. The next thing is the live event. And then from there, I upgrade them to coaching. And I send people up my value ladder, right? And for every business, it's different. If you're not in a coaching business, maybe you're in a supplement business, or maybe you're in a physical product business, whatever it is, the concept's the same. And so what I traditionally have is that each of these little rungs of my value ladder is a funnel. And so this first funnel, my goal is for me to break even. Then everything else that happens up this value ladder is just pure hard cash that I get to keep. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? So hopefully that kind of helps a little bit on the strategy and why you have different funnels. And so for you got to kind of figure out, well, what's my front end funnel? What's the best funnel to lead with to get somebody in that's got big enough mass appeal I can get a lot of people in and sell. And then from there, where do I transition? Okay, what's the next product that makes sense to sell to them? And then what's the next? And because everything after that, that's where you make your profit. Okay. So anyway, I hope that kind of helps. And again, I recommend you guys really diving into the video here on the homepage, because it'll go into a lot more strategy behind that. But I want you guys I hope that kind of helps kind of finalize everything for you. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into ClickFunnels, and I'm just gonna have some fun with this for a little bit because I want you guys to understand how to use it. Because as soon as you guys learn how to use this, I literally, it is so much power in your hands. For the last 10 years of my business, I have not been able to go and tweak something on my website. If I wanted to fix, like, the headline was wrong, or I needed to test something, or I had an idea, like, it was the worst thing in the world. I had to go and email 2 or 3 people, and they would try something and it would never work right, and I had to move. It was a nightmare for me. And I'm sure for a lot of you guys, you're probably in that same spot right now. And if not, you're probably going to be there soon enough. And so because of that, I want to help you guys to understand how to use this as a tool and kind of how to master it. Okay. All right. Cool. Now one thing I want to recommend you guys also, that I want you guys to become very familiar with and learn how to use, is my team for your stuff. So there's gonna be things I'm not able to answer live on the webinar, and if you can't use it, there's a little button. If you get stuck, there's a little question here, this little help box. Click on that. It'll come up. You can ask our support questions here, and they'll help you. You can browse articles. But we have I believe, honestly, the best support team in the industry running this help desk and everything. So if you have any questions or you can't figure things out, ask a support ticket or run through our articles. Right now, they're in the process of making videos and articles for everything you can dream of, so that you'll have access to those as well. If you get stuck on a page, you can take a screenshot of what's happening, and but definitely use our support. They're there for you. They're here to help make sure that your process is good. And as you know, as of right now, ClickFunnels has literally been live for maybe a month and a half or so. And so because of that, we're a young company. There's still going to be little issues and little bugs that pop up every now and then. And so first off, I ask you just to be patient with us as we're getting those things. Look at other companies we're competing against. They've been around for two or 3 years, and they only do opt-in funnels, and they still have bugs. Whereas we're pretty dang rock solid. We do 10 times as much as anybody else. But every once in a while, a little thing creeps up. So if you do find something like that, just be patient with us. Click on the help. Let us know. And our turnaround time has been very, very quick on most of these things, getting the bugs out. So anyway, that's kind of, just want to preface that. All right, so here is everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and again, I'm not going to talk about how to build each of these pages because that's what we're going to be focusing on in each individual training. Like last week, we really focused on opt-in funnels. I mostly want to train you guys on how to do the editor. So I'm going to just create a quick fake funnel for you guys. And I'm going to teach you guys how to become masters of this editor because it's so much fun after you learn how to do it. Okay. So this is how it works. I got my opt-in page, my thank you page. Those are 2 pages in this funnel, very simple. And then the other thing, there's things you have to set up, right? You have to set up your autoresponder and things like that. All that happens under my account and settings. If you go there, you're able to set up all those type of things. So you usually do that initially when you first get started in ClickFunnels. So if you haven't done that yet, go into settings. Of course, when I'm live, the CSS isn't going to load. There we go. So like your account settings, you got your subscription billing here. If you use the SMTP, you can add it to here. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. It's not important. If you have an autoresponder, you can add them in here. If you're using payment, if you're using Infusionsoft or Stripe or Warrior Plus, any of these systems, you can set up your payment things in here. If you want to set up a custom domain, so if you want, like for me, I've got ClickFunnel.com, ListHacking.com, all these different websites that's like if you go to any of them, it looks like you can't tell ClickFunnels is there. It's a custom domain. So if you want your website.com, when someone goes there to have the ClickFunnels pages load, even though it's your own website, you do that through custom domains. And again, for me, the first time it took me a while to understand it. So we have instructions here how to do it. But if you get stuck, click on the help tab, and we got a team to help you with that. Digital assets if you want email, videos, and stuff like that. So that's all there inside of this the account settings tab. So that's one thing you typically do need to set up. All right, so let me come into the editor. So there's a bunch of pages here, but what I'm going to do right now, because I can show you how to edit a page, but that's pretty self-explanatory. Instead, what I want to do is I'm going to take a page, I'm going to delete everything and start over so you can see what it's like. Because for me, like I traditionally don't even use the templates anymore. You can use them, but you don't have to. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to pick this one right here. All right. Okay. So here's after you pick the thing. Now it's cool. You see the visitors, conversion rate, leads. You can set up split tests in here, which is cool. You can set up emails to go out. And again, those are all things that we'll cover in more detail in the other trainings. But just so you know, and so make sure you guys play with that. You also have like your squeeze pops here, instant opt-in. You can clone this page, a bunch of other things you can do. So right now, again, though, we're focusing on the editor. That's what I want to show you guys today for the most part. Okay, so again, this is the part you have to understand. And for those of you guys who aren't technical like I wasn't, it took me a little bit to get it because I just didn't really get it at first. But after I got it, it made total sense. So if you look at this page, every single page, there are basically 3 core things, right? The first you have are sections. If you click on the right-hand side over here, it says sections. If you click on that, it'll show all your sections. And if I scroll over, it'll show me what all the sections are. So I've got video section, opt-in bar, so I can see all my sections. Okay, now the other way I can see sections, if I hover over something, I look for it, and if it's outlined in green, do you see the green right there? That is a section. So I know that this is a section right here. This green here, there's a section right here. It's green. So if it's green, it's a section. Okay. So that's the first thing to understand. So typically, first you create a section. Then inside of the section, the second thing you add is rows. So if I click here on rows, I'll see here's all the rows inside of each section. Okay. So there's a column row here. There's 3 column row here. 1 column row here. Now, if I hover over here and it's blue, blue is a row, okay? Over here, if it's blue, it's a row. If it's blue, it's a row. So first I build out a section, then I have to add the rows into each section. And then the last one here on the right-hand side, section rows. Oh, there's columns as well, which you can see the columns here. And then the last one is elements. So elements are all the things inside of it. So if you click on elements, you'll see all those right here. You can't see each individual one. And if I hover over it, if it's orange, then that's an element. Okay, so there's a headline element, there's a video element. Does that make sense? So if I'm building this, I start with like my section. So I have a top section, middle section, bottom section, right? Then in there, I add a row, and inside the row, I add my elements. Okay, and as soon as you understand that, everything gets really clear. And so if I go here, this yellow here, so here's a yellow element, or orange. And if I want to, I have a plus button where I can add another element, or if there's this little gear. If I click on this gear, it'll show me all the settings for that element. So if I know this headline, this headline right here, if I want to change it, I just click on the little gear. It shows me all the settings for that one. I can change the margins, the padding, the color, the text size, all the things I want right here inside of that. Same if I want to edit the row elements, I click on the blue and I click on the little blue gear, and here's all the things I can edit for the blue one. Does that make sense? And same thing for the section. I can go to section, click on the little hover on the little gear, and here's everything I can edit for that section. Okay. And then again, the other two things is if I hover over, there's this little thing that's got two little pieces of paper. If I click on that, it clones it. So now I got headline again. So if I want to do that, so I'll delete it now. I can clone it if I want. Next thing is there's a little plus. So if I hover over the plus, I click on that, it'll pop up an element table, and here's all the different elements I can add to that page. I can add a pricing table, an FAQ block, custom HTML, Facebook comments, social shares, all these different things I can add here. So let's say I'm right here. Let's just say that I delete this video accidentally. I'm like, oh, I want a video underneath there. I just hover over it, click on the little plus, find video, click on that, double click on it, and boom, now the video is back. Okay, does that make sense so far, you guys? All right, Dane said, wow, so easy. Yeah, so as soon as you guys understand that's kind of the core concept, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start over from scratch. I'm just gonna delete all these different rows and sections, because this is how I like to do it. Now that I understand it, and kind of build out different sections. And you don't have to, you can just edit your stuff or add different things if you want, or you can just start over from scratch. Okay, so here's I got a blank template right now, right? This is there's nothing here. So first I got my section right here. This is the section it gives you by default. So notice the section only goes to the sides. I don't really like that. So I'm gonna click here on the gear. It's giving me a whole bunch of options. The first is width. So right now it's on medium width. So if I go full page width, it'll take the whole page up. Wide, I can go medium, I can go small. So for me, I like doing full page. I have the background color. I'm gonna change the background from, so here's the color palette, so I can drag it around and change the color whatever I want. But then down here shows if it's invisible or not. So right now it's kind of invisible. So I'm gonna go all the way here in white. Check it out. Now my top section's all white. I can add a background image if I want. I can make my margins. I can do a bunch of stuff like that. So there it is. Now I got my top block. That's just this white thing. Now I'm gonna add a row in here. And so I can decide what I want to do. So I think for this example, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to do like a video on the left-hand side, then an opt-in box on the right-hand side. So I'm going to pick a right column sidebar where there's 2/3 on the left-hand side and 1/3 on the right-hand side. So I click that, and boom, now I've got it's kind of broken up where this side's got 2/3 of the page, this side's got 1/3. And I can do all sorts of stuff. I can do 4 columns if I want that. I can do 2 columns. Like pretty much, there's a bunch of different options you can pick from, or even 1 column block. I'm gonna delete all these though, because for this one I want to do that way. Okay, now on this left-hand side, I'm gonna click on Add New Element. I want to add a video. There's a video. Now, if I want to change the video settings, again, I hover over. I see the little gear. Click on that. I can change it. So let's say I want to say that video is too big. Let me see. Where are we at? Okay, down here. So video width. So at full width, so I can do 3/4 width if I want smaller, half width. So you're gonna pick that. So I'm on it big. So I'm gonna do full width video here. I can embed the video. Like let's say it's a YouTube video. I click right here on pick a YouTube video. So I'm actually gonna let me do this. I'm gonna go to youtube.com. Let's do a President Obama. I won't comment on politics because I don't want to get in a fight with anybody. But we're making an Obama landing page. How's that sound? Okay. So I pick YouTube video here. I plug in my YouTube URL. I can make it autoplay if I want. Now we got this video right here. So if I save the page and I preview it, let me show you guys what it looks like so far. So there's our page. We got Obama hanging out with us.
My fellow Americans.
Okay, so there's the page so far. Now, so I got my video. Now let's say I want an opt-in block over here, something like that. So I got some of my things I can do. So I'm gonna add an element, probably add a headline at first. So I'll say something like, give me your best email address for some wicked awesome stuff. Okay, so make it bold, but it's kind of too big. So I might mouse over and I look at the little gear, click on that. If I want, I can shrink the text size to like that better. So there's this. I'm gonna click on elements. I'm gonna add an image. So I'll click on image here. And I click on this little image block and it takes me over here. It says image URL. So there's a little plus sign. So I'm gonna click on that plus sign. And over here, you'll see here's all the images I've uploaded to my account. So I have tons of images here. So if you have images you want to put, you can put in there, or you can come over here to stock images and there's a bunch of default ones in here, or there's icon finder. I wonder if they have anything like, so icon finder, there's a free service in here where you can search and it'll try to find icons on something. Okay, so there's, oh, cool. So I typed in president and there's a free president looking icon. So I'm gonna click on that and it's gonna add it to my account. Now, I don't know if I would really do this if I was designing a site, but there you go. Now I've got this little president here, right? So there's my icon. Now, one thing I'm kind of picky on, see how close like the head is to this underneath it? Kind of drives me crazy. I like having a little space. So I'm gonna come back here to the image, click on the little gear, and make my margin a little bit bigger. So then, oh, there, much better. So he gives a little space underneath his head. So there I got my headline. I got a picture of the president. Then I need to add my opt-in forms. Click on that, and I gotta find input form. There you go. I want a little more space though, so I'm gonna get a little more space. And then enter your info here. I'm gonna have enter your email address here. Okay, so I got that form there. Now I need to add a button. So when they give me their button, or when they click on it, so there's my button. And notice, see again, it's right on top of it. I don't like that. So I click on this right here and I click on the gear. I give myself a little bit of a margin. Oh, much better. Give me the phone number. So there's my call to action, right? Give me the president's phone number. Now the button's kind of weird looking. So what else can I do? I can add subtext if I want. So yes, I will really get it for you. So there's the text now. Again, I can change the size of the button. So let's say I want a small button, or let's say I want a huge button. You can make it look any size you want. So I'm probably gonna do extra small for that one. So that looks kind of cool. I can change the width. I can do some styling. I can do a bunch of stuff. But one of my favorites is icon. I love doing icons. So I'm gonna click on icon here, and I can make like a little right arrow. I can do a down arrow, or I can do a bunch of stuff. So I can do a checkbox, shopping cart. So I like doing the arrow for the chevron. I like those. Okay. So now I've got a little page, right? So let me save it again. I'll preview it, and we're getting closer to now having a cool page, right? There's a video with an opt-in block over there. Okay, so what else can I do? Let's say that I want this block to like have some coloring behind it. So what I'm gonna do, and this one's a little harder because like I can't just click on something to get this the column just by hovering over it, you know. So I have to actually come over here to the right hand side. It says columns. I click on that. It'll show me all the columns. So left hand column, right hand column. Now if I click on that, it'll go and show me all the settings for there. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the background color so there's something behind that. So I'm just gonna make it black, but then make it, I'll go really dark. Okay, that's kind of cool. I need some padding on top and some padding on bottom. Maybe a little bit on the sides. That looks a little better. Move that down a little bit on the page. Radius is if I want the edges rounded, so I can make it, ooh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's cool. More rounded edges. I can do a border if I want. All right, that's kind of cool. Cool, I like that. The only thing I don't like is the headline now is black and doesn't look that good. So I'm gonna hover over it, click on the little gear. Now I'll change the text color from black to maybe white. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Okay, I'm gonna save that. And let me preview this page again, and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, that's looking cool, right? All right, so I got a page right there. So what else do I want to do? So let's say I want a headline up above. So unfortunately, there's not a plus sign on top of it. So I'm going to go underneath here. I click on the plus. I'm going to add a 1 column block for my headline. So now there's a new element, but I want the element above it, right? So what I'm going to do is I come over here to the side, and there's two ways. One you can do is you can grab it, drag it, and drop it up. But I like doing this as well. I'll come over here to the rows. I click on it, and it'll show me all the different rows, right? Highlight them over. If you look over here, there's this little arrow. If I grab the arrow, I can drag that right to the top, and boom, now that element's on top. If I move it back down, I can just grab it. Now it's stacked down below. Now it's back up on top. Okay, so I have an element here. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to change the headline. So I can change the headline. Do you want Obama's phone number? Okay, so there's my headline. But I want to make that bigger. So I click on the little gear and make the size huge over here. Even bigger. Even bigger. How big can we go? Yeah, that looks cool. So now I got who here wants President Obama's phone number. I can save that. All right. Is this cool, you guys? You having fun so far? Someone said that they want, yeah, I love your guys' feedback. This is cool. All right, cool. Someone said, can I make the edges around the video rounded? I have no idea. Let's try. I don't think you can, but I've never tried before. No, it doesn't look like you can. Okay, a couple other cool things you can do, like let's say I wanted to add like an order button underneath this, right? No, I obviously wouldn't because I'm not going to add an order button here, but just so you can see the concept. So let's say I have my add new elements button here. I add a button. Now I've got a button here, right? Buy the entire White House for just $50 here. All right, I'm going to make, so there's that. My subtext can be like, oh yeah, just $50 for the whole thing. Okay, so there's my subheadline. And then I come down here, I'm going to add, I love doing the icons. I'm going to add my little arrow to the right. So now I got my call to action, right? So there's my button. But maybe I don't want this button to show up until President Obama drops the bomb about how cool something is, right? So I come back here to this button, I can hover over it. If you scroll down here, there's two cool things. One is called time delays. One is called animations. Okay, so I'll show you the animation first. So let's say it's animation. I can say on page load. Have this, let's see, have this fade from the top at 500 milliseconds, okay? So I'm going to save this. Now when I refresh this page over here, watch what happens to the button because it's going to like magically appear, okay? Boom, see the button drop down? So you can animate all your buttons. So you can have the video drop down. You can have, like, I can literally come in here and let's come to video. And if I want to make this animation, I can have it animation where it fades from the left. I can have this. Yeah, so let me show you what this looks like. So now I can refresh this. Now the video should pop in from the left and the button should come in from the bottom. Yeah. So you can do stuff like that if you want. You can have different animation. You can have it so when you're on the page and you scroll down. Like, for example, if you saw how we did on, let me pull up ClickFunnels.com. So if you look at ClickFunnels.com, one of the cool things we did is you can have the animations come in while you're scrolling. So, okay, so as I scroll down, watch things will start flying in while I scroll down. Boom, that flew in. Okay, so you can set it to fly in as you scroll, which is kind of cool if you want those kind of cool things to happen. So anyway, that's how you do the animation stuff. It's kind of fun. The other one, though, that I personally like better, I'm not a big animation fan, so I'm going to get rid of that animation here. And down here, I'm going to get rid of the animation as well. But what I do like personally is I like this whole, it says time delayed. So I can say, have this button fade in, but don't have it fade in until the 1 minute mark, right? Or I have it fade in at like the 15-second mark, right? So typically you use that. Let's say you have a sales video and you don't want the order button to appear until you reveal the price. You can push that out. So say, okay, have this order button appear, but not until whenever that, for 16 minutes and 22 seconds. So I'll just do 15 seconds here. I'll push play. I'll come back to the page. I refresh it, and you'll see 15 seconds from now, the button should appear.
My fellow Americans. Tonight I'd like to talk with you about immigration. For more than 200 years.
There you go, 15 seconds now. The button popped up. Is that awesome, you guys? Do you like that so far? Okay, so there's that. So they're not. I got this page, which is pretty cool, right? So I'm gonna delete this button because I don't want this right now. But let's say you want one of those cool ones where the background's got a picture, right? So I'm gonna hover over here. Again, this is gonna be for the section, right? So section is green. Click on the little green button here. And then come here to background image. Click on background image. I can go try to find a really cool picture. So, and again, if you have a picture, you can upload it or whatever. I'm gonna see if I have one already uploaded. I can just use. Oh, here's the one for ClickFunnels. So if I want, there's a background for ClickFunnels. Now that's my background on my webpage. All of a sudden, refresh it and check it out. I spelled a bomber wrong. Does that page look awesome now? Anyway, so now I got a really cool looking page. Okay, it's pretty simple and pretty easy. All right, so the next thing I can do is come down here, and I've got this is all happening in one section. So maybe I want to add another section. So I'm gonna click right here. I'm gonna click this little plus button. It'll create a new section. And notice by default it's kind of small. So I'm gonna click on this this little gear, and instead of making it small, I'm gonna make it full page. I like the full page better. And maybe I want borders on the top and the bottom. So click on borders, top and bottom border. Now I've got kind of a border here, you can see. And maybe I want the background to be different. So I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna make the background color maybe more, ooh, that's kind of cool. Maybe like a bluish, a little bit lighter though. That's kind of cool. In fact, I like that blue a lot. So if I like this blue, I can click on it. And here's the number code for that. So I'm gonna copy this. Then come back here to my button. I want the button to be the same color as the other blue. So I click on that and I change the button color. Just gonna paste that over. Now that button's the same color as down here. Of course, I might want to make the text more black now if it's gonna be. There you go, cool. All right, so I got this block down here, and then I can do whatever I want down here. Let's say I want to do a 3-column block. Maybe the first column here. So I got a 3-column block now. So maybe I'm push first element. I'm gonna add an image here. I click on the image and look at all my images. What images do I have that'd be cool? So it could be a testimonial. So for one of mine, I've got like a Tony Robbins testimonial. So maybe I'll plug that in, or actually I'll do this. This will be, well, let's see what I got. What can I make this cool? I'll use Simon. So here's Simon's head. So I'll plug Simon's head in here, and it's huge, right? It doesn't look that good. So I click on this. I click on this little gear. Okay, what elements do I have? Well, I can turn this into a circle. Yeah, that's cool. That looks better. But it's kind of big. So let me shrink the image width. So maybe I'll make it 200. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll make it a little smaller. Maybe make it 150. Okay, let's see. What else? What other options? Oh, border. I'm gonna add like a border. Oh, sweet. That looks awesome. So I got a border here with Simon. So maybe I can add a little headline. So I'll add a little plus. And then I can drag this and move it above Simon's head and say, Simon got his phone. If I can type right. So Simon's got his phone number. So I click on that. And click on the editor. I'll make that a little smaller. All right, cool. Oh, I don't like how his head's right underneath it. So I'm going to go click on his head. Let's give it a little bit of a top margin here. Oh, that looks cool. Okay, so I'm going to add my next picture in here. I'm going to add another image. Is this fun for you guys? Like this is why I can't sleep at night. All I want to do is build funnels. Like I feel so awesome. Because Liz's picture, it's too big though. So I'm going to click on the little gear. I'm going to make it a circle. I'm going to add a little border to it. I'm going to shrink hers down to, did I do 150? Okay, cool. I'm going to take this little headline here. I'm going to clone it. So now there's 2 of them. I can drag it and drop it over here. Liz got his phone number. Clone it again, drag it over here. Click on the plus so I can add another image. Who else's picture do I have? That'd be cool. We'll add Stanzik's. We'll add Mike's here. Radius, so circle, border, and image width 150. Cool. Need that little padding up here, top of his head. Same with Liz's. All right, now I got my testimonials underneath there. Now one thing is there's tons of space here. I don't like all the space on top and bottom. So I'm not sure if it's on the blue or I think it's on the green. So I'm gonna click on the little green gear. Yeah, it shows me there's 40 pixels on top and 40 pixels on bottom, which is way too big. So I'm gonna shrink it down to like 15. Oh yeah, that looks way better. Take down 0. Okay, cool. That looks way better. So I'm gonna save that. Now if I refresh this page, what does it look like? All right, cool. So now we got Obama coming in, opted for his email or his phone number. Here's testimonies of other people that got his phone number already. It's turned into a cool page, right? Can you guys see how I do this though? Like it literally, you guys can kind of build however you want. Okay, someone asked how does the pop-up feature work? Cool, I'll show you that. So let's say for example you want to kill this, right? So I want to get rid of this email field, and I want them to, when they click on this button, to have a pop-up come up. So I have that. And down here in the left-hand corner says show pop-up. If I click on that, it shows what's going to pop up. So I can do the same thing here. Is I start creating it. So I create a row. So I'm going to do 2-column block, let's say. Left-hand side, I'm going to add an image. Let's see, do I have any Obama images? No, but I'll do this presidential one. Right-hand side, I can come and add a headline. Obama's phone number free today. Okay, I'm gonna make that bold. I'm going to shrink it down. Add in right here my input form. Click on this. Add my little button here. Send me the phone number. So that way you can do like a 2-step opt-in if you wanted. So there you go. And same thing, I can add background images. There's a ton of other things you can do on the pop-up. That's just kind of how it works. I can edit it real quick in there. And then if you want pop-up settings, underneath the pop-up, there's a little button that says edit pop-up settings. Click on that and open up all these things for the pop-up. So all the margins. So I can shrink the top margin if I want. Bottom margin, left and right. I can squeeze it in or shrink it out. I can show how far I want to pop it. So if I want higher on the page when it pops up or lower on the page, you can tweak that around as well. Probably put it right in the middle-ish. And yeah, that's how that part works too. And there you go. Now my pop-up's in place. Now if I do a pop-up, if I want when I click on this button for that thing to pop up, I got to click back here on the button and come over here to URL actions and see this little tic-tac-toe sign. I'm not sure if you can see it. If I click on that, it'll give me a bunch of options. So I want to go open pop-up. If I click on that, now it'll open the pop-up. So I come back and I save it now. And I refresh this page here. Now you notice when I click on this right here, boom, there goes the pop-up. It's ready to get my name and email. Isn't that awesome, you guys? Like I feel like a ninja. Like this would have taken me literally probably a week to get one of the designers to do this. And it would have been like, no, change it. No, do a different background. No, that one's ugly. Do something different. Well, now I literally come here and just play with it, and it just turns out really, really cool. Okay, so let's see what else. What else is important to show you guys? And again, I can keep adding more sections down here if I want. You can keep making it as long as you want. But it just kind of depends on you. Now, there's a lot of cool things we're adding as well in the very near future, just so you guys know. One of the big ones is let's say down here is going to be your footer link, right? So you have like your terms of service and all those things that are going to be the same on every one of your website. Service, a privacy policy, all those kind of things. So this is not in there right now, but in the near future, one of the things we're trying to do is making it where you can take a section like this and you can save it. And then you can go back to any of your other pages and you'll have a section that's like, here's all your saved sections. You can say, okay, here's my footer section, boom, and you can drop it and it'll just copy on this page. Or let's say you really like this bar right here, you can save it and then you can use it on any of the other pages really quick and easy. That's not done yet, but that's one of the big features that's coming up soon. So anyway, there's fun stuff, you guys, happening. Every time I log into ClickFunnels, there's like 5 or 6 new features that I didn't even know that our guys were building out, that it shows up. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Ooh, let's give it a little subtle shadow. I should spell Obama right, huh? All right, there you go. Now, a couple other things to know. So the other things is, you notice right here, if you look at the page, I don't know if you can tell, at the very top says my awesome landing page. That's like the default page information. So you want to do, come over here to settings, click on settings. And I usually go through and try to edit all these things if I can. So meta tag settings, so it's my page title. So I'll call it Obama's phone number, page description. Yes, you're getting his number for free. Page keywords, Obama phone number, page author, Russell Brunson. A social share image. This is if somebody was to take this page and share it on Facebook, what image would pop up? So you can choose what you want that to be. So you click on here and then choose whatever image. So maybe I want this one to show up. So now when somebody shares this on Facebook or on Twitter, that image I just picked will show up here. So that's what that is right here. Then you got digital assets. I'm not using that. Background settings. If you want to put in like your tracking codes, your Facebook pixels, or Google Analytics, you can add those here. If you want to customize the CSS, I don't know how to do this, but my designers sometimes they need to tweak things, so you can do custom CSS in here for the more advanced guys. You have that. There's that. Next is your email, and again, we'll talk about this more in like the landing page video or the opt-in funnels and others. But here's where you go and you add your email, so you can add your Aweber. Let's say I added Aweber, right? It'll pull my Aweber account. It'll show me all the different things. So I'm gonna say integrate here. Select the list, so I can say, okay, when they join me, add them to this list. Now, boom. Now, anytime someone joins my list, it automatically adds them to this Aweber list, which is kind of cool. The other cool thing, if you look down here on the bottom right-hand side, there's this little orange button that shows you things that you may have forgotten or things that you're missing. So if I click on that, it says, okay, it says helpful page reminders. Opt-in form button is missing. Your page has input fields, but no button to submit the form. All right, cool. So there's an error. So I knew that error was there. So what happens is right here, remember I added this form and I had this button, but I didn't tell this button what to do. So I need to click on this little gear, come over here to this little URL action. I click on that and say, when someone clicks on this, what do you want to do? Open a pop-up, scroll the footer. I want it to submit the form. Click on that, and now my little thing is gone. That means my page is finished and it's ready to rock and roll. All right, you guys. So there you go. That's how you use the ClickFunnels editor. So that's pretty good overview. Obviously, there's more things you can play with and try out, but hopefully that gives you guys the ability now to go in there and start creating things and creating the sections and the rows and then the elements and then editing all the pieces of it. And I hope that clears things up for those who have been kind of stuck or nervous or worried about it. So yeah, so just go in there, you guys, this weekend and play with it. Have some fun with it. Like I honestly, I've told you guys this before, but at nights my wife will fall asleep and I sneak out, I grab my laptop and I start playing with this again because I have so much fun just making up pages. I can have a crazy idea at 2 in the morning, and by the time my wife and my team is awake, the whole entire sales funnel can be done and we can start launching it, which is I'd never been able to do that ever. And now I can, which is why I'm so in love with ClickFunnels. All right. So usually if you click exit and this pops up, it means you didn't save something. So I'm going to stay on the page. I'm going to save it again. Did I exit? Yeah, this time it didn't do anything. So if that does pop up, it means you probably didn't save anything. So make sure you just double save. All right. You guys impressed with my website design skills? This is coming from a non-techie. All right, but there you go. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about today, because a lot of you guys have been worried about product development. Let me think about that. I might go and I did a really good training a little while ago on product development. What I might do instead of trying to do it in here, because I don't want to cloud it. Like you guys have the editor stuff now, and I want you to focus on that. What I might do is I might go back and do a separate training. I'm gonna do that. That'll be better. So I'm gonna add another section here that'll say product development, and I'll put in some training videos, or maybe we'll do it live. I'm not quite sure yet. It just depends if I can find the right one that's gonna help you guys a lot. But let's do that separate, so that way this one will be focused more on the actual editor. And the next training, I don't know about you guys, but if I train on too many things at once, a lot of times people don't actually implement them and get them done. And so I want you guys to master the editor from this one. So let's do that. We'll kind of wrap up for today. And you guys this weekend, again, go play with the editor, come in here and watch this training. And again, I'll either post a product development one in the members area. If not, then I will do a live training on that really, really soon. I am out of town next week for the holidays. I'm sure most of you guys are as well. So it'll probably be a week before we have another live training. But I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. And again, all the schedule is in here. So that's about it, you guys. This is gonna be so fun. And like I said, if you guys have any issues or any things that happen, someone said the webinar jam integration is not working. If it's not, that's cool. Just come over to the help button, let them know, they can check it out, and they can go and make sure we fix it and get it up and rocking and rolling. But like I said, we are a brand new company, and for as big of a project as this is, as few of bugs as we've had has been amazing. And right now we've got tons and thousands of people literally who are using this and making money with it. And so there are going to be things that creep up. Just let us know. Make sure that that we know, and our guys will smash those bugs as quick as we can and make sure that you keep moving forward on everything. So yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Again, thanks so much for being part of the Funnel Hacks training. When we put this together, we tried to create something that would literally change our industry and change, and obviously as you've seen, it's changed my business. And I think it can change yours as well. And that's why we're so excited. But that's your work, you guys, for this weekend. Again, 2 homework assignments. 1 is to devour this training, immerse yourself so you understand the funnels. Number 2 is go and play with ClickFunnels Editor and have fun with it and master it and start building your own things. And then we'll come back, and when we get back, again, we'll do a product development 1 training, and we're going to do training on actual sales funnels and getting those integrated. And then we'll keep moving through the funnels after that. Cool. All right. Thank you guys again so much for everything. And I will talk to you guys again soon. And someone asked when the recording will be available. My brother does our video stuff, and so he will be doing it tonight. And I should have it up in the members area tomorrow, unless there's some hiccup or something. So it'll be in the members area tomorrow. I will probably go and actually create another tab right above this one that'll say Funnel Hacks Editor Overview, and it'll be right there inside of that tab right there. Cool. Again, thanks you guys so much. Have an awesome weekend. And if you have any questions, again, during the weekend, having issues, contact our support right here. They're working all weekend and all the time, and they can help you guys as well. So again, thanks so much for everything, you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.